Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Josh Dixon Show. I am Josh Dixon, joined by the regular crew. Everyone, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Dan Highwind. I am a college professor and I'm also a writer.
I'm Michael. I ride my motorcycle while drinking beer and I never wear a helmet.
I'm Trevor, and I'm a software engineer who also loves video games.
I am a freelance filmmaker and lover of video games and movies. Today, we are talking about, uh, I guess I could call them guilty pleasure movies or forgotten favorites that people don't really think about very often.
Josh, you have
Movies.
something adorable happening behind you.
Yeah, there's a fluffy little chaotic ball back there
I
scratching
think I
something.
think he's modeling for the camera.
He's
MJ.
infinitely more interesting than whatever we were talking about. I would not like to start.
Okay. This
I
one was
would not
tough.
like to start
Sorry,
I'll
either.
does nobody have it?
I'll start.
Okay, Michael, you go.
But believe me, this is not gonna. I'm not choosing one of yours. I'd say mine is Knightriders.
Knightriders.
Listen to what I said. Knightriders, plural,
Plural.
different than Knight Rider.
I'm gonna have to
Completely
do a lot of
different.
looking up on this
Uh,
this episode.
it's like one of George Romero's only movies that isn't a horror movie. Um, and it's about a group of traveling entertainers that it's like a Ren fair, but
Ed
the only
Harris, isn't it?
yes, Ed Harris. Actually, strangely, he's like kind of the worst part. It's like his worst acting, I think. Uh,
Nightmare.
This is weird. He's in a
yeah,
crap. Is he like at a Renaissance fair? What is going on?
yes, it's like a traveling Renaissance fair, but they ride motorcycles. So they're also a motorcycle gang, but they ride motorcycles while jousting. And it's
What is going on?
I mean, it takes place contemporaneously. So it's like in the 70s. Stephen King makes a cameo as a heckler, which is great. Um,
I'm
but
gonna have to find some footage and put it up on the screen if I can.
it's just kind of a nice movie about like a group of outsiders doing something really strange that like you'd never think to make a movie about, but George Romero did. And I don't think George Romero gets enough credit for being a good writer because there's not a lot that goes on in this movie. And it's like a 3 hour long movie.
3 hours?
It's
I
long.
think
Maybe
it
just
said 3 hours and 6 minutes on there.
It has a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes.
wait, what? That's
That's
actually higher than I thought it
impressive.
was.
That
I
is
think it
really
used to
impressive.
be lower. But just the characters are good, the interactions.
Oh no, the trailer is 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Okay. I thought it was saying 3 hours and
Oh,
6 minutes.
okay.
Did you see
And
it as a kid or is this
no,
like a
I saw it during the pandemic, and I was just like, this is exactly the kind of movie I wanted to watch right now. I think that's why it in me. A little story. If it's boring, you can cut this out. But I was getting a lot of buzz. People were talking about Repo Man, I think is the movie, which is
Hmm.
the 80s
I've seen that.
movie. Um, Not Repo Men, Trevor. It's not the one with Jude Law. It's a movie about people that are actually like repo men in the 80s. And I was like, that's pretty much all I knew. And it was kind of being lauded as like this smart movie. So I was like, I want to watch just kind of like a boring movie about people like doing a job. And I watched that movie and was like instantly like, oh no. Because the first thing I thought it was the wrong movie because the first thing that happens is a guy gets his face melted off by an alien or something like that. And I was like, this isn't, is this Repo Men? This isn't, how is this about Repo Men? I think that I need to watch that movie again. Maybe it is good. But then I was like, Knightriders, and I put that on. It was like people like at a Ren fair riding motorcycles, and that's all it is. And I was like, this is great.
It's about exactly the thing that it said it was.
Yeah. And it's just them doing it and like exploring every conceivable avenue you could about what it would be like doing that. Um, Talking about weird remakes that you could probably remake that. Actually, no, that would make no
I don't
money.
think that has a concept that's worth remaking necessarily, but
It
I
would
haven't
make
seen
no money. Oh, Ed Harris's character, like, is too into it. Is kind of his deal. Like I think his birth name is some like Lenny or something, but he goes by Arthur, and like he actually has a sword, and it like believes in honor and stuff, and everyone else is like, this fucking nerd. Like he goes too far for the rest of like these people.
I think that pretty much encapsulates exactly what this episode was supposed to be. I was today years old when I realized that
was a good
movie.
intro for
So
sure.
go to Hollywood Video near you, rent Knightriders on
what's a
VHS.
Hollywood
I got
Video?
Hollywood Video around the corner.
Get it on tape. Make yourself some popcorn.
Okay, I'll go next. Mine, I don't even think mine is a bad movie, but it was one that I watched early on growing up. Dragonheart.
That's a great one.
I was actually really into it. Today, it's terribly goofy and cartoony to watch a Sean Connery dragon talk to Dennis Quaid, but it was right around the time I saw Jurassic Park as a kid, and I couldn't really differentiate the two. Like the T-Rex in the rain versus Sean Connery dragon, they're both cool to me. But then you got people like the guy that plays Lupin in Harry Potter.
David Thewlis.
Really?
Yeah, you got him who's the villain, Einan, who actually was
I hated him.
I thought he did a great job because I did not like the character. But it was like a Joffrey kind of thing to me. Granted, I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I might be thinking about it too highly. And then Sean Connery is just fun to listen to, and you got a bunch of heavy hitters in there from, I think it's '96 is when it came out.
I had a Draco action figure.
The dragon, really?
It was like that wide. His wingspan was like that wide.
That's pretty big.
And if
That's
you
awesome.
pulled on his hind leg, his wings would flap. It was pretty
Nice.
awesome.
And
Nice.
that wasn't his
really
hind
cool.
leg.
It had a decent amount of humor in it. It wasn't just all taking itself seriously. And yeah, I watched it over and over again. I had my mom used to take me to her work when I was homeschooled as a kid, and they had this little room. They had a bunch of videos on VHS, and Dragonheart was in there, and I watched it probably a dozen times over the years. But yeah, that's one of mine. I don't think it's terrible, but I think it holds up pretty well.
If I go back and watch it, I've never seen it.
Don't watch the sequels. So it's
Oh,
just
well,
Dragonheart. There's no 2 or 3 or subtitle or anything. It's just Dragonheart with Sean Connery and Dennis Quaid.
All right, I can go next. I think for me the best way to like categorize one of these is when I as a kid see a movie and I'm like, is this the best movie ever made? And then I grow up and I'm like, no, this is a terrible movie.
But
And
you
so
thought about it at one point.
yes, at one point I was like, clearly, like this is the next Star Wars, you know. And so I have two that come to mind. One is more just because it's classic with me, and that's Sahara. I thought Sahara was such a fun movie. I mean, I do have a weak spot for anything that has to do with like treasure hunting in the desert. I'm very, very much an Indiana Jones person and a mummy person.
National
Now-
Treasure.
If you're searching for treasure and there's some sort of mystery or puzzle and there's desert involved in ancient history, like I don't care what it is, like I'm gonna go see that movie.
Trevor, most of our audience will have never heard of that movie. Can you give maybe a
No, I think
synopsis or who's cast in it?
everyone's seen Sahara. It is so good.
One of my favorite parts about it is it's starring Matthew McConaughey when he was in crap before the reconnaissance,
Before the
Yes.
Oscars and stuff.
yeah, before before
Alice
True
Buyers
Detective,
Club
before,
and Mud and
so it was like before like respected actor Matthew McConaughey and more like that annoying guy from romantic
Fool's Gold.
comedies.
Fool's Gold, yeah, or Fool's Gold.
Another terrible movie.
But like
Rainn Wilson's in that movie, right?
He's in Sahara, yeah.
he's in
But
Sahara. I know
Penelope
Steve Zahn is in
Cruz.
Sahara. I saw it in theaters, and I have
What?
not thought about it since.
Were there a lot of
Outside of discussions with this group.
people there with you, like that you didn't know? Like, was it a packed theater?
I don't remember.
What was the other one, Trevor?
So the other one, which I legitimately, it was late at night when I first saw this movie, probably, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I was like, this movie is awesome. And then later I looked it up and it got like a 6 out of 10. And it was like everyone hated it pretty much. It's called Soldier. It was made in 1998, starring Kurt Russell.
Oh wait, this popped up on our Apple TV movies. Did you buy that shit?
Yes, I did.
That's what that was.
Basically, I'm a sucker for sci-fi movies as well. Basically, he is a trained as a stone cold killer. He's a soldier, but he's normally human, and so he and his squad get replaced by like a much more advanced like DNA altered group of soldiers. And so
Wait, yes,
they basically
remember this.
trash all
Yes.
these other soldiers, and they're like, we're just gonna like dump you into space trash. And so he gets dumped on this like this random planet where there's just a bunch of people, like basically poor people scurrying around the ground using trash as their homes, and they end up like being nice to him and befriending him, and really making him part of their community. And then it turns out that this squad of military who replaced them is sent to this planet to take over because there's resources that they want. And so then he helps defend the people that took care of him and taught him to be a human and not just a soldier.
This movie looks amazing.
It's
Like
it's
Avatar,
pretty great.
kinda.
Yeah, it's
Paul
like Avatar.
W.S. Anderson before Resident Evil.
Oh yeah. But anyways,
Correct. They're
enjoyed
practically
that.
manufactured using DNA. What does that mean? It's dumb shot guy writing a spec script for the screenplay class he has to take as an easy credit.
Hey man, that passed for entertainment in the 90s.
Oh man, I'll watch that for sure.
I'm a sucker for like really like industrial sci-fi.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Well, it's not just it's the fact that like there's thought about the actual industrialization and real world scenario of sci-fi. And so this planet is used as the trash dump. And so there's literally spaceships that take all of the trash from Earth, fly out to this planet, drop the trash because there's no place for it on Earth, and that's how this all happens. And so I always like sci-fi that has a very grounded, realistic aspect to what life might be like at that time.
Did you ever watch The Expanse?
I did. I stopped after like season 2, but it nailed that sort of aspect.
I read the first book. I didn't watch the show, but yeah, it's the so much of that show is about, or of that series is about, the main characters are like truckers, and that haul around ice
for water and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Is it down to me?
Yep.
All right. Well, we might be playing our hands a little bit as children of the 90s here, but Batman Forever.
Wait. So Batman and Robin is George Clooney.
Batman and Robin is George Clooney.
Val Kilmer.
Batman Forever is Val Kilmer.
That's the best movie ever saw.
Love that one.
Here are the parts that I'm not going to defend.
Okay.
Number 1, nipples on the Batsuit. Number 2, Chris O'Donnell pushing 30. Number 3, Tommy Lee Jones doing whatever he is doing. His first scene as Two-Face is excellent. Everything else is just like, bro, you won an Oscar 2 years ago. What happened? Number 4, perhaps.
Maybe.
Number 4.
Seems though.
Jim Carrey is basically playing Jim Carrey, not the Riddler.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Here's what I will defend. Batman Forever, more than any other Batman movie, I think, maybe not more than, but definitely as good as some of the other Batman movies, really explores the psychological reasons for why Batman Batmans. And, in my opinion, is the best exploration of the no-kill rule. Because in this continuity, Batman has killed the Joker. Because the Michael Keaton Batman kills the Joker at the end. And I think it's still a loose continuity. I don't know if it's a reboot or if it's canon. I don't know. But what ends up happening is when Robin wants to kill Two-Face, Batman explains to him, Robin has this great comment to Batman. He says, your parents weren't killed by a homicidal maniac. And Batman says, yes, they were. And when Batman says, killing Two-Face is not going to make it any better, he says that with the experience of having grappling hooked the Joker at the end of Batman 89. And and so for instance, the A plot of, Jim Carreying and, Tommy Lee Jonesing is not as interesting to me. And that deserves all of the ridicule that it gets. The neon is crazy. It is very campy. But what I really loved about that is the B plot of Nicole Kidman plays a psychiatrist who is psychoanalyzing Bruce Wayne and sort of figures out that he's Batman via psychoanalyzing Bruce Wayne. And of course, she's sort of in love with Bruce Wayne and Batman at the same time because that's what you do. But what I really love at the end is that Batman has to reconcile sort of with the guilt that he's feeling about causing his parents' death, about the sort of trauma associated with the fact that he lost his parents. And at the very end, the point of the movie of Batman Forever is after he saves both Robin and Nicole Kidman, because movie, when he takes out the Riddler at the end, he says, I'm no longer Batman because I have to be, but because I choose to be. And it's an interesting interpretation of the psychology of Batman. That is, the Nolan movies get into there a little bit. The animated series, the Kevin Conroy gets into there a little bit. The Robert Pattinson movie gets into there a little bit. But this one I felt like is, it actually did a decent job exploring the psychology of Batman. And I think Kilmer was a good Batman. I am a Kilmer fan. I loved Tombstone. It's one of my favorite films. But
I'm your Huckleberry.
That's why he got Batman, though, is that Joel Schumacher was watching Tombstone and said, yeah, get him. But anyway, that is why I defend Batman Forever as not the worst Batman movie. It's not my favorite Batman movie, but I would give it a fresh tomato because I think it does an interesting job exploring the Batman and Robin relationship, which I don't think they blew, and also the psychology of Batman. Seal and U2 did a hell of a soundtrack.
Best part, watch that once a week. That song, Kiss by a Rose.
Dan, you did as you were talking, you made me think of another sleeper hit that I think is really fun. The Saint with Val Kilmer. You ever seen that one?
No, I haven't.
I know that's the movies that I've seen on Blockbuster shelves, but never actually watched it.
That's the movie he left Batman and Robin for.
So they wanted him back. It was his choice to leave and Clooney come in and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, because Batman and Robin was hot garbage.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Everybody knew that was going to be the case.
I thought the nipples came in Batman and Robin, not in Batman Forever, but
Batman Forever. I at least understand the artistic decision behind the bat nipples.
Roman type.
Which is
Greco-Roman breastplates.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But still, it was sort of like, we don't need that.
Yeah,
we don't need that.
Do you in the new Flash movies, the part where Batfleck talks to the Flash and he's like, I've killed so many people. I have like bodies piled up of guys that I've shot with guns. It's not worth it.
No, it didn't come up.
No, see, he shot the cars that blew up, and then the guys inside the cars got killed. So he didn't really directly kill them. He just shot the cars.
Or a guy's holding a bomb, so he shoots
the bomb,
a gun at the bomb.
Yeah,
and blows
he didn't kill the guy.
I didn't.
He blew up the bomb.
I didn't kill him.
The
bullets and the guns did.
I like my Batman with that. I like my Batman having the no kill rule because even Frank Miller's Batman has the no kill rule.
So here's my pitch for a movie. Someone gives some sort of drug cocktail to Batman, and it's basically The Purge, but with Batman for 24 hours, where he's just fucking killing people. Just like slaughtering an entire city for 24 hours.
Isn't that what the video games are about?
I mean, that's basically Arkham Knight. is because Scarecrow threatens the city
Oh
and the whole
yeah,
place gets
yeah.
evacuated, so it's all just criminals and Batman. So, but you don't kill anybody, but I mean,
Yeah, well,
No, that's, I mean, isn't that John Wick?
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
would be
pretty much.
Sort of.
way cooler if it was Batman, though, because like he's flying around.
And just like
Uh,
think about like all the bad guys know he won't kill them. Just imagine their terror the
yeah,
moment he pulls out like a magnum and starts shooting people. Like it's just utter terror.
the Joker is in his bunker and he's like, let Batman come. He'll never succeed. And they're like, dude, he's killing a bunch of our goons. And he's like, get my car. I'm leaving town for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the with Batman, he's one of those characters. I'm not sure there's a definitive version. If there is,
Yeah.
I think it's the Kevin Conroy version.
It's certainly not the character Bob Kane made up.
Certainly not. If there is if there is a definitive version, I think it might be the animated series. Um,
My wife has been watching that all week, all throughout our vacation. We had animated series going, and I've seen the animation style change and the cast change, and she's still watching it. Wow, she's
Still worth it.
it's pretty good actually. Actually,
R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
and
Yeah.
Clayface is terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is.
I remember
Ron
as a
Perlman.
kid
Super
thinking
good.
I remember thinking that Batman Beyond was so cool. I got
It
so
is.
excited whenever
Batman
that
Beyond
came
was
out.
cool.
It's pretty cool. It carries the legacy forward.
Not as deep, but
I do like that depiction of Bruce, though. I don't think,
Old
as
Man
much
Bruce.
as I loved the Nolan trilogy, Nolan convinced me that his Batman would retire. I foresee I think it's a Justice League Unlimited episode where you catch up with like 90-year-old Bruce Wayne and it's like 40-year-old Terry McGinnis. And Bruce Wayne can barely open his pill bottle and he is still crotchety old Batman. And I'm like, that that is how Bruce Wayne dies. It is he dies being Batman until the day he dies. That is my ideal Batman. But
yeah,
what I appreciate about the different iterations is that you get to explore different kind of versions of the character. Coming back to my pick for Batman Forever, what I liked about it was that I thought it was an interesting take on the Batman psychology, uh, even if it's not necessarily my definitive take.
And the aesthetic just changed majorly too, so that kind of turns some people off because
The neon was weird.
The
The
animated series is basically Tommy guns and
yes,
trench coats. It's like the 50s or 60s, even though it's not because there's like some technology happening, but the aesthetic of Gotham is still, old style.
these
yes,
Zeppelins.
and
Yeah,
some of that was the Burton influence.
yeah. And
Some of it
and
also was
the Burton theme is in the opening.
Mhm.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
or
It's
it's
the
like a
opening.
riff on the Burton theme.
You're right, right, right.
Josh, you got to convince Haley to watch Justice League Unlimited if she's not gonna.
I
If she's
didn't
gonna
even really
skip
know
that one.
about it. I never actually
It's
got into Justice League.
You
So
Is
never
the
watched the
Justice
Justice
League
League cartoon?
the
no.
Justice League cartoon, which
I
is a
never did
spinoff
either.
of the Batman and Superman cartoons, is pretty bad for the most part. But then as it goes on, it becomes unlimited, and it's very good.
Yeah, it's sort of the Justice League is sort of like there's a couple seasons and there's the first couple seasons are Justice League
It's just the
and
7 characters.
then Justice League Unlimited sort of moves to a revolving roster and
Yeah.
it's a different show but it's sort of the same continuity. They just decided to focus on different things. I think both are good. Unlimited has some of the better episodes though.
Gotcha.
And the Batman Beyond episode is probably my favorite episode of anything having to do with Kevin Conroy's Batman.